welcome to do that. Okay, so this is chapter 13. We're jumping ahead, and the very first section, as I'd mentioned earlier, is all about order of operations. And order of operations is something that's necessary for scientists and engineers when they're doing calculations, that everybody would come up with the same answer. And let me give you an example. What if I wrote 2 plus 3 times 4? A lot of you right now might just do 2 plus 3 is 5 times 4 is 20. But that's actually the wrong answer. Because order of operations would dictate, would tell you, or would give you a rule that you would do multiplication before you would do addition. So what is 3 times 4? So I could just go ahead and put down a 12 there, and I'll do 2 plus 12. What's 2 plus 12? 14. Now, a moment ago, if we just went from left to right, 2 plus 3 is 6. I'm sorry, 2 plus 3 is 5, times 4 is 20. We have 2 different answers. Imagine if some engineers were building a bridge and they're trying to confirm one another's work to make sure the other person did it correctly. And when they build bridges and buildings and things like that, they don't just trust one person is going to make all the calculations correctly. They all double check and triple check their work. Well, that's a problem. One guy gets 20, another guy gets 14. Who's right? 14. So they came up with something called order of operations. And what this section is going to tell you, and what I'm going to teach you here, is what that order is, how you would do it. Okay? So, let's see here. This is something you're going to hear a lot for the next 3 years. It's called you pronounce this PEMDAS. Everybody say it? PEMDAS. Everybody say it, PEMDAS. PEMDAS. Okay. And it stands for, please, this is what everybody will tell you. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And what each one of those stand for is, this is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. That's the order that you would do a math problem. If there's any parentheses first, that's the very first thing you would do. So if I had a problem that was 7 times 3 plus 14 divided by 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals, the very first thing I would do in this problem is what? The parentheses. What's in the parentheses? You do that first before you do anything else. Even if it's the very last part of the problem, you do the parentheses first. And then you would look for any exponent. Well, what's an exponent? If I wrote a number 7, what's the exponent? 2. So if there's a number with an exponent, you would do that second. And then you would do any multiplication, followed by division, followed by addition and subtraction from left to right, just like we read. We read from left to right. Now, I had a little fun with this. I was trying to think of my own acronym, and I came up with please excuse Mr. Delgado and Charlene. And some of you are going, oh, I get the please excuse Mr. Delgado. I mean, that fits, right, Mr. Delgado? And what? Who is Charlene? Well, does anybody know who Charlene is?
Your wife.
What's that?
It's your wife, right?
No, I'm not married. Who, yes.
Your daughter?
No, not my daughter.
Oh, wait, I remember.
She is in this classroom.
Oh, her.
Who's her?
Miss Michelle.
Miss Michelle, is your name Charlene?
Not last time I checked.
No. Look around. Who do you think Charlene is?
Correct.
No, it's
Well, it kind of fits because it's some. No, my name is not Charlene. It kind of fits because it's somebody who's really kind of quiet, like Mr. Delgado.
Miss Gage.
Yeah, you are quiet. What are you talking about? Quit your talking. Be quiet.
Miss Gage.
All right. Miss Gage. Her middle name is Charlene.
What?
Yeah, Charlene. So there we go. So if you can't remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Maybe you'll remember. Please excuse Mr. Delgado and Charlene. Okay? And so remember what each one stands for. Shh, listen. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So in this first example here, they talk about that. So for number 1, you're going to evaluate or solve or do what's in the parentheses or brackets or braces. Okay? So this would be parentheses. This would be brackets like this. And this would be braces, kind of look like that.
Which one would you do for braces?
Well, you do the innermost one, but you guys won't have too many problems like that. Okay, so look at this step 1. It says I'm looking at step 1 right here. You guys pay attention. You're going to be lost if you don't pay attention. Do the operations inside the parentheses first. What's 7 times 2? 14. So you can get rid of the parentheses now, and you just put 14 minus 3. But you still have some brackets left, because look, there was a bracket there and a bracket there. And they did what's in the parentheses first. Okay, so now you got to do what's in the brackets. What's 14 minus 3? 11. Okay, and that's what they did right here. 14 minus 3 is 11. So then they have 11 plus 8 divided by 2 times 3. Well, do you do 11 plus 8 first? No. What would you do first? You would do 8 divided by 2. What's that? 4. And then you do 4 times 3. What's that? 12. Then you simply do 11 plus 12, and the answer is 23. So that's a good example. Now, let me explain something to you. I want to make sure you guys understand this, because I think I saw a couple questions, and I bet it's about this. So please excuse Mr. Delgado and Charlene, okay? So if I had a problem that was 2 times 3 divided by 2 times 7 divided by 1.5. Okay, look at that problem. It is all what? Multiplication and division. Now, this is important. Listen. When it's all multiplication and division, you just go from left to right, just like you're reading. Okay? If it's all, let's say, addition and subtraction. Let's say I did, how about 2 plus 3 minus 2 plus 7 minus 1.5. Okay? If it's all addition and subtraction, again, just like you're reading, you go left to right. In other words, one addition or subtraction, it doesn't matter. You just go from left to right. One doesn't have any more power or influence or authority over the other. Same thing with multiplication and division. Okay? You just go from left to right. And the same thing with, well, actually, that's not the same thing with exponents and brackets. You do the brackets first. So I just want you to remember that in addition and subtraction, you just go from left to right. In multiplication and division, you just go left to right. Question, yeah.
What does the N stand for?
The N? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I don't see an N. And so please excuse Mr., that's an M, Delgado, and Charlene. Okay? All right? The M is multiplication. Okay? All right.
Number 6.
So to convince me, let's just look at that for a moment. What's the very first thing you would do?
You would do 15 minus 3.
You would do what's in the brackets and parentheses, 15 minus 3.
And then when you do that, you do minus 6.
All right? And then you would continue, and then the next thing you would do would be what?
Divided by 2.
Yeah, probably the division. And then finally, it looks like there's some addition, and that would be the last thing you would do. Okay? All right. Just not going to worry about that one. Let's look at some of these problems here. I don't want to let this video go on too long. Number 1, it says, explain the steps involved in evaluating the expression. So I'm not worried about you explaining, well, I mean, they don't give you enough room to write the answers. But what would you do first? I'll just put the steps. I'll just say step 1, parentheses. Step 2, multiplication and division. And step 3, addition and subtraction. Those are the basic steps. Number 2, it says, what or would the value of 12 divided by, 12 in brackets or parentheses, 12 minus 4, close parentheses, divided by 4 plus 1 change if the parentheses were removed? Let's do it. Let's do it first with the parentheses. 12 minus 4, close the parentheses, divided by 4 plus 1, okay, equals. What's the first thing we do? Do what's in the parentheses first. What's 12 minus 4? 8. So we're done with the parentheses, so we could just drop it. Now it's 8 divided by 4 plus 1 equals. What's 8 divided by 4? Okay. Now let's do the same problem. Let's do the same problem and not have the parentheses. What's the first thing we would do?
Division.
Yeah, the division. What's 4 divided by 4?
0.
0? That's 1.
And then you do.
So now it's just subtraction and addition, so we just go left to right. What's 12 minus 1?
12.
Are the answers the same? No. Okay. So I don't know if you want to just try to squeeze that inside number 2 there, you can. I've kind of done it for you. All right. Questions on this so far, anybody? No? Yeah,
How do you
Mr.
do
Graham.
number 6?
Okay, let's look at number 6. So let me erase this really quick.
Very confusing.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of brackets and parentheses and all that nonsense.
How
So,
come there's 3 different kinds of like brackets?
well, that'll come into play, especially, whoops, undo. Especially come junior high.
You go, Corinne.
Not so much in 6th grade, but 7th and really in 8th grade. All right, so let me bring this out here so we can all see it. And copy. Let me pull it over here, and I'm going to make it bigger so we can all easily read it. Okay. Let's look at this. What's the first thing we do in this?
Parentheses.
Yeah, the parentheses. What's 4 times 3? So I'm going to just rewrite it 12, and then I'm going to put the bracket, and then these, whatever those are called, divided by 2, and then
Bracket.
a bracket, plus 3, and then I forget what those are called. Braces, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hayes, times 6. So I've done, this is the first step. Okay, this is the first step right here. What I did, I took care of, I'll just highlight it. Let's see, how could I do that? Maybe I'll, in yellow, this is what I did right here. I got rid of those. Okay. Now the next step, what's the next thing I do?
Divided by 2.
Well, we can't do anything with the 12.
Divided by 2.
But if we were to get rid of, I think I wrote that down wrong.
Yeah, I saw the bracket kids. Like, what? There's 3 of them.
So, yeah, I don't need this one. It should just be 12 divided by 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
12 divided by 2. Yeah, that should be right. Okay. So what's 12 divided by 2? Now we're going to do what's in the next innermost brackets. 12 divided by 2 is what? 6. So now we have 6 plus 3
9.
times 6.
9 times 6.
Second step. So again, now we do whatever is in the innermost, which is 6 plus 3. What's 6 plus 3? 9. What's 9 times 6 equal?
54.
So they will have, as I pointed out in the very beginning of the lesson, these 3 kinds of separations. We have parentheses, we have brackets and braces. I always forget.
So you'll always do those first.
You always do those first, and just keep working. You start from the very, whatever numbers are in the very center, you do those first. Okay? So 6 is done for you. Let's see here. Let's look at a couple more here. Number 7 looks like it says use the order of operations to evaluate the expression. So again, since these don't have equal signs, and I probably shouldn't have put that there, they're expressions. So what's 3 plus 4? That's going to be 7. Okay. What is 6 divided by 2? It's going to be 3 there. What is 3 plus 1 right there?
4.
So 4. So you guys finish filling those out. Okay? Yeah, that's all I want you guys to do. I just want you to do the first page. We'll do this page tomorrow. We'll take a look at that. But I want you guys to give this a good shot. Let's look at 21 really quick. 21's kind of a hard one. It's kind of like the number 6 we did up above. Let me pull that out. And I'll just help you get started on it. Okay? Take a look at this problem. What do you think the innermost terms are? The ones that are most surrounded by parentheses, brackets, and braces?
20 minus
Yes, exactly. 20 minus 6. What is 20 minus 6?
14.
So I'm going to put a 14 there. And then I'm going to put braces, 8 times, and then bracket 1 plus, that would be 14. And then we have a brace, or a bracket, and then a brace divided by 1/2. What's the next innermost term that we have to deal with?
Do you divide 14 by 1/2?
Got to do what's in the.
Oh.
Remember, please excuse Mr. Delgado and Charlene.
Multiply 8 times 14.
Do what's in there first.
Add 1 and 14.
Yeah. What's 1 plus 14?
15.
So now I'm done with these. Now I can get rid of those two. Okay, so now I have just this 8 times 15, okay, divided by 1/2. All right. So 8 times 15. Well, I heard somebody say it. What's 15 plus 15? 30. What's 30 times 4?
120.
Yeah, so it's 120. Now I can get rid of those. I've done that. 120, whoops, divided by 1/2.
60. Right? It's more complicated than it needs to be. It looks complicated.
Okay? All right, there's 21 done for you. All right, I'm going to end this video here.
5. How many minutes was it?